A trio of cattle and beef industry experts are weighing in on rising costs across the country. Our ag specialist, Julia Thomas, sat in on a panel at the Missouri Governor's Conference on Agriculture and has the latest updates.
Robo Bank's North American Senior Animal Protein Analysis says that while the American herd is on a decline, that's not why prices have gone up.
We've been between 58 and 59 pounds a person for the last 6 years, this year included in that. And so a lot of the price increase that we're seeing, we talk about record high beef prices, actually come from record high demand, or at least the strongest demand we've seen in many of our lifetimes, highest since 1983 based on our models. And so as we talk about these record high prices and how do we bring them down, it creates some pause when you realize the main reason for the prices we're paying today is actually the demand side of the equation, not the supply side, which is still going to come tighter the next several years.
The Missouri Weekly Cattle Market Summary says even with the extreme volatility, prices are still historically high, and it's not a complete disappointment, likely the highest prices producers have ever gotten. Oklahoma State's Extension Livestock Specialist says it's going to take a while for those prices to come down.
Well, I think we could see elevated cattle prices probably for much of the rest of the decade. In terms of, obviously we could ask a lot, when's the peak at? History would tell us that, maybe a year to a year and a half after we know that we're saving heifers for rebuilding, we might put in some sort of peak. And I'll go ahead and say this now, obviously one of the concerns is that we peak and we drop sharply like we did about a decade ago. I think that's a very different story now. We're on a completely different, slow-paced path, probably the slowest rebuild in history, whereas the one a decade ago was the fastest in history.
From trade and tariffs, another big concern is packer margins. The DOJ launched an investigation accusing packing companies of manipulating prices at the expense of producers and consumers.
We believe that the packer is really in the space and they're turning a margin. But if we look at the data right now, we have some that are 8 quarters in the red, in the money. So right now, it's certainly the margin sits in the feeders space. And as we look at commodity prices, where we are right now, we're in a spot we haven't been in for a long time in terms of corn. So right now, the data says feed the cattle, and the cattle are worth a lot, and the packer margin it's not just tight, it's upside down.
The U.S. gets most of its imported beef from Canada, Mexico, New Zealand, Australia, and Brazil, but concerns about the New World screwworm prompted the U.S. to close cattle imports from Mexico in May. In July, the president put a 50% tariff on Brazil, then announced increasing imports from Argentina, drawing outrage from American producers. Now, beef tariffs have been dropped, and experts expect to see an influx of Brazilian beef back into the U.S. I'm Julia Thomas with Tri-State Trusted News.